First, joining us with reaction, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, Minority Whip Steve Scalise. I will concede to the leader in the Senate over you, Congressman Gaetz. You're getting close, though. You're getting good. Steve Scalise, there's not one thing that these people needed to testify except their opinion about what they thought of the transcript, that never talked about aid, that the president of Ukraine said never felt pressure, that they never did anything, and they still got the aid. Why are we here?
Yeah, Sean, it really begs the question, because ultimately they're trying to remove a president for having a better foreign policy than Barack Obama and Joe Biden. In fact, you even had Vindman today acknowledge that it was President Trump, not President Obama, who sold the Javelin missiles to Ukraine so they could defend themselves against Russia and take other action. And so what is this really all about? I think we know what this is all about. The Democrats have no candidate for president, and they know the only way to stop Donald Trump from getting reelected is to impeach him. The only impeachable offense they've shown so far is that he got elected president in 2016. Every witness that's been asked, even today, name one piece of bribery. They can't name a thing. That's their latest poll-tested question, because they keep throwing stuff up at the wall, and they have yet to find anything, because there is nothing wrong. Zelensky and Trump were the two people on the call. Both of them said it was a perfectly fine call. Zelensky said there was no pressure. The foreign minister of Ukraine last week said there was no link between aid and any investigations. And so yet they still continue on because they want to undo the results of the 2016 election. And they're afraid that Donald Trump will win re-election because their field is so weak that last week 3 more high-profile Democrats talked about getting into the race for president, including Deval Patrick, who said Obama encouraged him. How does Joe Biden feel about the fact that President Obama is encouraging Democrats to get into the race for president because they have such a weak field?
To get where we are, Matt Gaetz, this is what you have to, like, you care about Russian interference, but you ignore the dirty dossier Hillary paid for, okay? But in this case, you cared about quid pro quos, and then you're going to ignore Joe Biden. Well, fire the Ukrainian prosecutor who I know is investigating my son who's being paid millions with zero experience. Fire him, you get $1 billion. Don't fire him, you don't get $1 billion. The very thing that these guys are acting so upset about, they're bragging about and actually happened. I would like millions for doing nothing too. Yet we can't talk about that. How do they bifurcate such hypocrisy in their minds?
The left is able to get away with it because the mainstream media continues to say that the concerns about Burisma and Joe Biden were debunked, that they are conspiracy theories. The reality is the testimony tells a very different story. We heard Kent, we heard Volker, we heard others talk about the very legitimate concerns the president and others had about the environment in the Ukraine and also about Burisma specifically. Our own embassy even had to pull out of a public-private partnership because of Burisma's involvement. So those are legitimate questions. But what you saw today, Sean, is that Democrats promised quid pro quo, and what we got was bait and switch. Their poll-tested punditry said that they should be talking about bribery, and we didn't hear any witnesses talking about bribery. Matter of fact, you heard Volker say there was no bribery. He was the lead guy, the special envoy. You heard Morrison say there was nothing wrong, and then Williams, who was on the call, didn't even think there was enough wrong about the call to report it to anyone. Do you know why we're here, Sean? They're humiliated over Russia. They told this lie for 2.5 years about the president being an agent of the Russian government, and instead of saying they were sorry and move on to passing the USMCA, working on prescription drug prices, they literally went to the country next door to create a new conspiracy theory about the president, and they will be punished by the voters for this.
All right, thank you both. Great analysis. Keep fighting hard. The country needs to win this fight. This is madness.